Okay, this time we're going to look at an experimental or an investigative lab. Is where we look at different variables to either support or not support a different or a particular relationship. So with this one, we're going to look at distance and time and in graphs. This is for 6.8D. So for this FET, we're going to use the moving man. You'll get to it just like you did the other ones, only you'll select the moving man. For this, I'll ask that you look at the chart one and not necessarily the introduction. So we're just going to deal with the position since we're dealing with sixth grade. So I would ask that you would deselect the velocity and the acceleration, and we'll just deal with position. So really what happens and the way this one works is as you push play, it's going to time from the 0 time mark to 20 seconds. And in that particular aspect of you doing that, while it is going, it's going to graph. You'll notice that it will begin to graph the motion of the man. Notice that the man is being still right now, so the graph is only graphing a straight line. You can tell your students to manipulate the man's movement by using the blue arrow. Okay, so let's say you want him to advance 5 meters. You can just hit the arrow up to 5 meters, and the man will start his descent or his movement to the 5 meter mark. Okay, notice what happens to the graph. Okay, also if you want him to go the opposite way, naturally you just manipulate the arrow and move it in the opposite direction. And in doing so, you'll see that it again moves the graph. Okay. For this, you can even have your students, you can even select different points for your students for to have them graph this out. And also you'll have them to notice that if they move the arrow fast or slow, how quickly does that change the dynamic of the graph that is being created. Okay, and also along with this, even though it's going slow, after you have them move this a couple of times, you can tell them to move it to the 5 meter mark, the 0 meter mark, anything like that. You can have them to ascend and descend slowly instead of quickly so that they can see how that looks different on the graph as well. Okay. And really, what I really truly like about this particular feature is that when this gets finished and you are finished and it's finished graphing for you, um, it has this really nice feature that you can have them pause it, and then instead of record, you can have them play back. And as it plays back, okay, the graph will stay there, but they'll be able to see the movements that they made. And I think I would even have them maybe even take a picture of the graph simply so they can use them and compare them for different things. Okay, so again, this is a way that we want our students to be able to engage in lab, and I know we could probably do this in a way where we could have them do this particular lab themselves, but since they may or may not have different supplies, I think this is a really good option that we could use for this. We're also going to use this same fit for descriptive labs as well.